Hello, and welcome to Leader Insights. My name is Antonio J. Lopez, and my journey into leadership did not begin in a boardroom, a classroom, or a corner office. It began long before any title was ever attached to my name. It began with learning how to survive, adapt, and ultimately, how to rise. Growing up, I often found myself navigating questions of culture, identity, language, and belonging. I understood what it felt like to be different. I knew what it felt like to search for acceptance, to wonder where I fit, and to navigate spaces that were not always designed with people like me in mind. For many years, I viewed those experiences as obstacles. Today, I see them as gifts, because those experiences taught me something that would eventually shape my life's work. Leadership begins long before we ever claim a title. Leadership begins with our story. In my story, I dealt with setbacks, challenges, and moments that tested my confidence, my resilience, and my sense of self. But it also included hope, healing, forgiveness, growth, and transformation. Throughout my journey, I served in the military. I pursued higher education. I rebuilt relationships that once seemed impossible to repair. I discovered unconditional love. Most importantly, I learned how to embrace the fullest and most authentic version of myself. Those experiences shaped the leader I am today. They taught me resilience, self-awareness, and the power of belonging. They taught me that authenticity is not a weakness. It is one of the greatest strengths a leader can possess. And they taught me that joy is not something we find at the end of the journey. Joy is something we choose along the way. That is why I do this work. In fact, it is the only reason I do this work. Because leadership is not about perfection. I can assure you, I am far from perfect. Leadership is not about status. It is not about power. And it is certainly not about authority. Leadership is about humanity. It is about relationships. It is about impact. It is about the way people feel after interacting with you. It is about having the courage to look inward so you can lead outward with greater clarity, compassion, and confidence. Through Leader Insights, I have had the privilege of supporting emerging leaders, experienced executives, educators, nonprofit professionals, and organizational teams strengthen their leadership capacity and discover their purpose. Together, we explore what it means to lead with authenticity, to communicate with heart, to build cultures rooted in trust, to create belonging in every room we enter, to navigate conflict with emotional intelligence, to understand that resilience is not simply a leadership skill. It is a lived experience. Through my Leadership Compass book series, coaching programs, leadership courses, keynote presentations, and consulting work, I empower leaders transform adversity into purpose, strengthen emotional intelligence, build inclusive teams, and create environments where people can truly thrive. Because when leaders grow, organizations change. When organizations change, lives are transformed. Every lesson, every workshop, every coaching conversation, and every book is rooted in one simple belief. The world needs better leaders. Leaders who see people. Leaders who listen. Leaders who act with integrity. Leaders who understand their own story and use it to elevate the lives of others. Leaders who create trust. Leaders who strengthen the human spirit. Leaders who leave people better than they found them. That is the kind of leadership I believe in. And that is the kind of leadership we develop at Leader Insights. So if you are ready to grow, if you are ready to lead with greater purpose, if you are ready to strengthen your confidence, your impact, and your influence, if you are ready to become the leader your team, your organization, and your community need, I invite you to join me, because leadership is not a destination, it is a journey. And no one should have to walk that journey alone. This is Leader Insights, where leadership meets humanity, where growth becomes transformation, and where your next chapter begins. I am excited to walk alongside you and welcome to your leadership journey.